Welcome to the 0 to 10 million gold challenge. It's like the long boy challenge, only twice as hard. So here's some general information to get you started. Expolsum can be pretty important for crafting things in Battle for Azeroth, so down below I went ahead and linked a spreadsheet to assist you with finding the cheapest way of doing that. You craft bracers using materials, disenchant the blues, scrap the greens, and that'll get you a bunch of Expolsum, especially if you have the tool to trade. That just gets you extra materials from the disenchanting. If, like me, you decide to do the Big Mac crit food, one thing I recommend is that you get the Minnovac from Daniel Angler's on Mechagon. It'll make getting the ionized minnow way faster. And also, if you're searching for scrap groups, one thing I would recommend is you search for something called the 2x4 groups. That's 2 groups of 4 where things spawn twice as fast, and if things are raining there, then you can kill things even faster. When it comes to making gold, having Trade Skill Master 4 as an add-on for World of Warcraft is a huge help. It keeps all the things organized, it helps you sell faster, it can even keep your prices updated as well using the Trade Skill Master desktop app that just keeps your server prices updated all the time. When it comes to undercutting, with the new auction house in 8.3, you don't really have to, because everything runs on last in, first out, meaning if you're the last one that posts, it's going to sell first no matter what the price of everything else is. So if you undercut by 1 copper, 1 gold, 1,000 gold, either way, your stuff is going to sell first. Well, that's all I can think of for now, so we'll go ahead and get started, but if I come up with any more tips, I'll make sure to add them in the weekly videos. So, let's kick it off. Alright, it's the end of day 1, so let's go over what happened. I went ahead and boosted 2 characters to 120 using the 2 Shadowlands boosts that I got since I have 2 accounts, and I also went ahead and made 2 Demon Hunters. I got them to 103 through the starting areas and through a single Legion invasion, so that was pretty nice. They also have full heirlooms, so hopefully leveling won't be too hard, but we'll go ahead and see. But with that, I also am probably going to make 2 other characters, maybe warriors, maybe death knights, we'll go ahead and find out, but I will let y'all know when I figure that one out. With that, I took the gold that they made getting to that level and sent it to my main for a little bit of extra starting funds. And with that, I got my 120s, Herbalism and Mining, went to Dajatar, and went ahead and got some Zinanthid and Osmite ore for even more starting capital, which is always a good idea to have when you're starting. Plus, I also did some fishing so I could level my cooking to use that and get the rank 3 recipe, and I went ahead and sold the fish that I made instead of using it towards cooking because I could buy food cheaper and use that to cook, so I ended up making a little bit of gold in the long run with that. No matter what you're making, rank 3 is important because it either 1, lets you make things cheaper, or 2, lets you get more items from making things with the same amount of items. That way you just get free gold that way as well. It's just always a good idea to have rank 3 if at all possible. In the end, fishing, ore, and herbs were my best sellers, and it ended up getting me 18,534 gold, so not a bad start. But let's go ahead and move on to day 2. Welcome to day 2. Today was a Warfront turn-in day, which is a good day to make a little bit extra gold from the turn-in quest, but sadly I wasn't able to get in on that and sell the items to do that. And just so you know, the times that those quests change over is 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 8 Mountain, and 7 Pacific. At least in the US. One thing that can happen on Warfront turn-in days is that people will end up buying whatever it is that gets turned in, jacking up the price, and then selling the items. So if it's a little too risky for you to do that yourself, you may just want to jump in under someone else's items, undercut them, and then simply keep going from there. That way you can use someone else's abilities to your advantage. I was able to get my Demon Hunters to level 104 using the invasions, since with heirlooms they give you 45% or more XP, you can get a full level at least from each invasion, so a good idea to keep your eye out for those. I was able to sell Cool Tiramisu and Honey Glazed Haunches from leveling up crafting, and the Big Macs also sold really well since those are, like I said, very in demand and you end up getting a lot of gold out of them since they're so easy and cheap to craft. I was able to level enchanting as well, getting that a little ways up, and I ended up selling the items from that. It was Enchant Ring, Seal of Versatility, and Enchant Gloves crafting, either Cool Tyran crafting for Alliance or Zandalari crafting for the Horde. Don't forget, with enchanting, you can use Enchanting Vellum, and instead of putting an enchant directly on an item, you can put it on that to sell in the auction house. But in the end of the day, I was able to make 30,893 gold from primarily the Big Macs and those other foods I crafted earlier. And so tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and try to get in on those Warfront stuff early, but I'll go ahead and let you know. Wish me luck. Welcome to day 3. It wasn't the best day in the end. I actually ended up losing some gold, but that's primarily because I ended up buying crafting materials because I found some cheap on the auction house, so may as well get them, and that way it'll end up saving me gold in the long run. It was Gloom Dust that I ended up getting, and I'm going to use that to level up enchanting shortly, but not quite yet, because what I'm waiting for is the rank 3 of certain re-enchants. That way I can end up saving even more gold from leveling it up cheaper. The crafting glove enchants, as well as the Big Macs, yet again have sold really well for me, but sadly the food that I made the first day hasn't, so I just ended up vendoring it, because if I didn't, posting it over and over was just going to end up making me lose gold simply because of the auction house fees. My Demon Hunters got to level 105 today because of the Legion invasions, yet again, since they make it so quickly to level. And with that, I ended the day with 15,763 gold. Sadly, I wasn't able to get on the Warfront turn-ins again, but we'll see how it goes tomorrow. So, take it away, Dynek. Thanks, Dynek. Welcome to day 4. And with day 4, I went ahead and finally got my Demon Hunters up to level 111, because I was able to do 2 different Legion invasions, as well as the entire Stormheim zone. That way, it got me some decent gold in the long run, plus, like I said, up to 111. And with Legion invasions, don't just stop at level 110. You can actually get to 111 through the last of them. That way, you just end up with 1 extra level. It just ends up being faster than doing questing in zones in Battle for Azeroth. Because of getting to 111, plus the Warfront turn-ins being Drums of the Maelstrom, I was able to make a good chunk of gold from them. Someone had already reset the price for me, so I just posted right under them, crafted them cheaply, and wound up making some gold. Big Mechs sell well and consistently. Plus, with my characters that I got to 111, I was able to get alchemy on them and do the transmute bag of anchors on all of them. What that does is basically just turns cheap materials into more expensive herbs. My biggest gold maker today was actually the Drums of the Maelstrom from the Warfronts, and they allowed me to get to 65,043 gold. So, not bad today, and hopefully we can keep, whenever the Warfronts are in town, money rolling in with that. So, let's go ahead and get on to the next day. Welcome to day 5. Good news, everybody! Today was actually really good for gold making, so let's go ahead and see what we did. I was able to get enchanting to level 95 today, but I'm going to have to stop, simply because I need to wait for a higher rank weapon enchant to come onto the world quest so that I can make things cheaper. The Warfront turn-in item today was Frost-Laced Ammunition. I don't have an enchanter just yet, and so I just went ahead and bought what I could cheap on the auction house, waited for someone to jack up the price, and just posted right under them. It ended up making me a decent amount of gold. Rubbery Flank was really cheap on the auction house today, so I was able to buy that and craft, I believe they're called Biltong, I think that's how you pronounce it, but I was able to craft those since there was a rank 3 of that on the world quest today as well, which also brought me in some nice gold. Anchor Wheat has become another consistent seller for me, and the Big Mechs also as well. And with that, I was also able to make money from Enchant Weapon Deadly Navigation, since it's kinda cheap to make, but still makes you a profit while you're leveling enchanting. I ended the day at 126,447 gold, but that's really not going to last me very long, simply because I need to level up 4 professions on 4 different characters, and getting materials can be a pain in the ass when you don't have any gathering professions. But we'll see how that goes, and so let's go on to the next day. Bad news, everybody. The video from day 6 is kind of gone, and I didn't bother to document all the stuff ahead of time, so the information's just... It's not there, I'm sorry to say. All I can really say at this point, though, is let's just hope it doesn't happen again. So, on to the next day, I guess. Welcome to the end of the week, day 7. Back to the good news, everybody! And that's primarily because I got my enchanting to 150. And I mostly did that because I got impatient. I spent more gold on it than I wanted to, because I didn't want to wait for the rank 3 of the weapon enchant, and just did it the hard way. Upon hitting that milestone, I went ahead and did the Tool of the Trade quest line, and what that gets you is an item that makes it so whenever you disenchant stuff, you can actually get better materials from it, and more materials. With that item, you can actually get better and more materials from your items that you disenchant. Not only can you get Umber Shards from greens, you can even get Veiled Crystals from blues, so it's just free gold. There's really no reason not to have it. It's cheap to make, and it ends up just getting you more materials, so why not? I ended up taking kind of a big risk today. Big Mechs kind of dropped in price like crazy. They were a third of what they started with. So I went ahead and bought a total of 6,000 of them. But luckily, since it is rating day, I was able to sell about 2,000 of them back with an increase in price. So it ended up helping me. I really do need to start working on rep though, because a lot of the enchanting recipes as well as alchemy recipes require you to be at least revered with a bunch of different factions. By the end of the week, I was able to get my enchanting to 175 and my blacksmithing and leatherworking to 150. I'm going to try and get those to 170 though soon so I can start working on uncanny gear, which tends to sell pretty well. And at the end of the week, I also ended up having 70,340 gold, which is not a bad place to be ending a week after I started, as well as having gotten everything to such a high profession level. I'm also going to probably end up leveling 2 extra warriors. That way I can have 6 total professions along with alchemy on all of those characters, simply because the alchemy is really good for making gold. I may end up making use of a 120 boost on both of them, but I'm really not positive on that yet. I will let you know next week though. So yeah, that's just the end of the week. So here in the end, I would like to wish you all great luck in your gold making endeavors. So wish me some luck too. But in the end, take it easy, take it sleazy, but don't forget, most importantly, be excellent to each other. Y'all have a great week.